Hi guys, this looks like it's going to be part one of a two-part for an interior work on the Watusi. Piece of junk and restored it. So here we go. I welded all new steel from my new frame to the old fiberglass body. It's quite a bit heavier steel than it was originally. This is the epoxy I used on the plywood, 3/4 plywood I used for the flooring. Here's the flooring curing. Once everything was cured, I used a construction adhesive in between the wood and the frame. And I pre-drilled some holes and used self-tapping screws with large heads on it and secured all the floor down. And it's good to go. So the dashboard and the overhead are made of fiberglass. This was quite a job. Had lots of cracks and crazes in it. So I had to figure out how to fix all that. It would have been nice to take it out and do it on a bench or work horses. But I didn't want to take the windshield out because the windshield holds it together also. So here's a really bad corner. And then the overhead crazed and cracked. So it was time to get down to business on this. So I did a bunch of epoxy after I sanded it with 80 grit. Filled it probably 3 or 4 times and then sanded it each time. Had to mask off the windshield. And it was pretty monotonous, but once I got to the point I felt it was smooth enough. I finished it with a bed liner kit I got from Finish Master. I think it was called Raptor, but it's been so long I forgot. And turned out pretty nice. Here's that corner, much better. Used to look like that. A lot of sanding and filler, turned out to be like that. I'm really happy with the look on that. So we got beyond that and we carried on. Okay, with the dashboard done, it was time to insulate it. But I couldn't insulate it until I wired it. So I started wiring it. I decided to put the fuse box behind the driver's seat so I'd have more accessibility to it instead of trying to cram it all under the dashboard. I used 18 gauge wire for the lights because they were all going to be LED. 16 gauge for 16 and 14 for the heavier load stuff. I used marine crimp-on terminals. They shrink wrap after with a heat gun. Made a really good connection. I tried to recycle a bunch of relays from the bus, the donor bus, and it worked out, but I eventually had to replace them all. You can see I'm sitting on a little framework of 1-inch steel tubing. That was the beginning of the engine covers I made. There'll be more of that later. I use a label maker to label every wire so when I get into a situation I can figure out what's going on. If I did it again, I probably would have used a painless wiring harness. But it's done now, so I don't have to worry about it. Here's all the wires heading to the tail lights and the clearance lights. And a little bit more forward is a bunch of the 110 lights. I have a couple 110 outlets on either side of the bunk. So I put them all in, labeled them all, because I was soon going to seal it all up in foam. Well, the foaming was fun. It's pretty quick. This stuff is called Foam It Green. Came in two Freon type containers. It worked pretty good. I think it was like $600 or something. I tried to look for it again. I think Amazon sells it. Their main kit did most of my 21 footer. I bought a smaller kit to do a little finish up around the dash and finish up the underneath. I'm happy with it. use an oscillating tool to cut off the excess so I could fit the panels in. It was a little tedious, but it wasn't very hard. It all came together. Here it is, all foamed up. I hope I put enough wires in. So I made the engine cover out of 1-inch steel square tube, and I covered it with a thin metal. These guys look bored for the day, so they glued on the marine insulation. Look at them go. So it sits in there nice, cover up that big Cummins engine with the turbo and the boost pipes. There it is. So I picked up a air conditioner unit, 32,000 BTU. It's a place in Largo called Cold Master. They sell on eBay. It fits real nice above the engine cover in between the dashboard. Just enough clearance to look right when I mounted it in. This is the condenser. I mounted it under the floor behind the driver's seat at an angle. It works pretty good. The first compressor I got from them had a crack in it, and they easily replaced it for me. It came with a bracket. I had to custom fit it to the engine, the Cummins engine. It has 2 pulley slots, but I only used one. Cummins had a spare slot on one of the pulleys. Here's the top of the engine where I mounted it. There it is, mounted, lining up. Not much room between the electric fan. How's it look, Diggy Dog? Looking good.